A.A. Wilson is the shining star of Las Vegas Aces, but don't think for a second she shies away from stirring the pot. With a flair for speaking her mind, she keeps reporters hanging on every word she speaks and loves every second of it.
I think Prada's like very me, very like, I don't know, I'm a pretty simple girl, but Prada's never dressed WNBA player or NBA player for the draft, so it's very fun. Got the simple white and then sparkly on the inside, but yeah, really fun. Got the bag, got the slick shoes, so. Yeah.
With Clark's iconic WNBA debut season, which came with unprecedented fanfare and drama, White Girl is successful.
White girl is successful. White girl more popular. White girl must be.
Lately, Wilson claims that Caitlin Clark's race is a huge thing in her rise in popularity, and it boils her blood. She believes that Clark's race is something that cannot be ignored. As insane as it might be to read that line, it's a very real belief Las Vegas Aces forward A'ja Wilson has. It's not. Instead, Wilson has decided to make the Indiana Fever rookie the most popular women's basketball player in the country. About race, Caitlin Clark has been the biggest story in college basketball for 18 years. So here we go. Las Vegas Aces forward. Label the story 2 years thanks to a run to 2 national title games, capping off a record-shattering collegiate career. But as she just took part in her first regular season WNBA game, whether she likes it or not, discussions about her race and transition to playing pro ball will continue to pop up, even though she has not said anything to fuel any tensions between black and white players. However,
I think just soak in the environment, enjoy it, but more than anything, continue to be me. I think that's the biggest thing I'm telling myself going into this game is like, don't be afraid of the moment. Like, you're ready for this, you work for this, and go get after it.
First off, Clark's first preseason game was streamed, but Reese's was not. If Reese talks trash, it's viewed as unsportsmanlike. If Clark does it, she's being competitive. Also, Clark was even given a signature shoe by Nike before they gave one to Wilson, who is a multiple-time WNBA champion and is a 2-time league most valuable leaguers. And just one sports fact about Clark.
Know what we have to do today. We're gonna have to rock the house.
Fans lining up at the door to see what they call a must-watch game. WNBA's world champions against Indiana Fever's top pick, Caitlin Clark.
It's cool to see that this brings out this many people for Vegas to show up and show out.
Because I want to see Kate Martin and Caitlin Clark against each other. And I've been following Caitlin Clark, I've been watching her all over. She really changed basketball for me.
This fan watching a WNBA game for the first time says he's rooting for everything Iowa, but felt the Aces' energy.
Just hope that it's a good game. I hope everybody has fun, and maybe for the Fever to win. But I think I might be an Aces fan, though, too, so just because of the other two players. So
Las Vegas Aces Vice President of Sales says the demand sent ticket prices through the roof.
There wasn't enough tickets for us to...
Adding fuel to the fire, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever faced MVP frontrunner A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces in a highly anticipated matchup for the first time in Aces history. A crowd of 6 fans flooded T-Mobile Arena for the nationally televised game, marking the 5th largest attendance in WNBA history. Some believe WNBA veterans were jealous of the #1 pick, taking it out on her with physical play on the court. After the Aces' 869 win, Wilson was asked to discuss Clark's impact on the league's recent growth. The Aces superstar described the previous Caitlin Clark drama as gossipy, and that people are starting to realize they're good at what they do. Race is a difficult subject to talk about in sports. No matter what you say, someone is going to take offense. That's why seeing a video of A.I.A. Wilson on the sideline explaining white privilege was so polarizing. The Las Vegas Aces star also seemingly took a shot at Caitlin Clark in the video. A'ja Wilson is seen alongside Kelsey Plum, explaining how white privilege elevates white players. They were sitting courtside watching the UConn star take on Caitlin Clark in Iowa, which sparked the racial conversation. She used UConn player Paige Beckers as an example and claimed that it reminded her of Plum Wilson, claims she was trying to make the point that Beckers reminded her of Plum in a good way, but that's not how it was received by many people who saw the video on social media, including the Caitlin Clark fan account that posted it. One line in particular looked bad in hindsight, making it seem like Wilson was dismissing the talent of transcendent white players while giving a backhanded compliment to her teammate that seemed to be aimed at Caitlin Clark.
Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. Like, she understands her privilege and pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's...
This isn't surprising since she already said Caitlin Clark was only popular because she's white. First of all, why are you immediately looking at someone based on their race or level of privilege? Why not look at someone's skill set or their character? Everyone has different backgrounds or levels of privilege, but in the end, success has to be earned. Kelsey Plum isn't one of the best players because of her privilege. She's one of the best players because of her level of skill. The video has surpassed 20 million views on X, formerly Twitter, where it was posted after the Aces Game 1 loss to the Liberty. New York star players Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ayesu, who are both white, combined for 55 points in the win.
Written a new book. This must be terribly exciting. You got a new book here. It's called Dear Black Girls, How to Be True to You. Did you ever imagine, when you were a young black girl, did you ever imagine you'd be writing a book?
Not at all. And I'm dyslexic, so like...
AJ's been an advocate for black girls. In AJ's words, they don't see it as marketable, so he's took it on himself to build the iRoll radar, and we are very happy to say that iRoll right now is pushing the Concords, RED, south. It doesn't matter how hard the black players work. It doesn't matter what they all do as black women. They're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils her blood when people say it's not about race, because it is. Her comments were slammed.
Story at 10, there's a new NCAA women's scoring leader in basketball, and her name is Caitlin Clark. Good evening, I'm Sharon DeRick. Redrick is off tonight. Clark needed only 8 points to beat the record and surpassed it just over 2 minutes into Iowa's game tonight against Michigan in front of a packed Carver Hawkeye Arena. Fans came from across the Midwest to witness history. Our Brianna Baylog was also there today, and she talked to some of those fans. She joins us now live with more on what it was like to watch it in person. Brianna?
That's right, Sharon. It was a packed house here at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and all eyes were on Caitlin Clark, who was just 8 points away from making history, and she did it in typical Caitlin Clark fashion with a deep logo 3, which made the crowd go wild. That's the sound.
On the other hand, Caitlin Clark is popular because she's the most prolific scorer major women's college basketball has ever seen. She elevated the entire sport. The former Iowa superstar brought women's basketball out of the dark and put it under the spotlight.
Just the last 90 minutes, we're getting some new record-breaking numbers from ESPN with the women's college basketball tournament ending with just like gangbusters ratings. 19 million people just about tuning in to see South Carolina go undefeated and beat Iowa. That's up 89% from last year, up nearly 300% from a couple years ago. This is a monster, right? It is the most watched basketball game, period, in 5 years. Men's, women's, college.